Welcome to another Deadbeat by Night revamped production. The following is rated for mature audiences and may contain graphic themes that will be distressing to some viewers. As always, we recommend you ensure the safety and well-being of yourself and those around you at all times. Viewer discretion is advised.
In the heart of night, we rise from shadows, howling at the moon, igniting our battles, cleansing Gaia of an endless bite, until our final days we will fight. Thanks, man, we stand united as one. Evil spirits lurking with horror and dread. Little light leads us from the grave dare tread. Glory and honor, wisdom in our hand. Together we rise, take our final stand. Everywhere we run, the wind is at our back. All the one forces we will track. From the depths of the ocean to the clouds in the sky, vampires tremble as we learn to fight. Rage across Tampa, in this fight we'll stay. Evil spirits lurking with horror and dread. Little light leads us where the brave dare tread. Glory and honor, wisdom in our hand. Together we rise, take our final stand. Rage across Tampa, in this fight we'll stay. Everywhere with the pack, let the night be our guide. In battles of honor, we shall never hide. Rock will never hide.
Good evening and welcome to the St. Pete by Night Entertainment Network, where we play St. Petersburg by Night, a massive multiplayer 5th edition World of Darkness Chronicle set in the city of St. Petersburg, Florida. My name is Kent, also known as Kent on all social media, and I am the lead storyteller of St. Pete by Night. It's Friday night, and you know what that means. It's time for Hellhounds, our second Werewolf the Apocalypse Chronicle set in the city of Tampa Bay, Florida, just across the bay from St. Petersburg, Florida. And why is it our second Werewolf the Apocalypse Chronicle? Because it's the second Werewolf Chronicle in the Rage Across Tampa universe. And if you're not up to date on Rage Across Tampa, boy, oh boy, do you have a lot to catch up on, because we have 55 episodes of Rage Across Tampa over on Twitch and here on YouTube for you to catch up on. So if you want to know what's going on, you better go catch up and listen either on podcast or catch up here on YouTube. But hey, you can also just watch Hellhounds here on YouTube to know what's going on, because this story is wild and we have a lot for you to see. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, go follow St. Pete by Night on all of that social media listed in the description down below. And if you're interested to learn more, why not join our amazing community of individuals by following that Discord link you see, where you could be a part of our amazing community. We have all sorts of amazing activities you could be a part of. We'd love to have you join us because it's a great group of people and you could be one of them. Just come on, join us over on Discord. Now, let's get things started. There we go. If you're joining us for the first time, we do things a little bit differently here on Hellhounds. We do things with interactive, reactive images. That's right, you're going to see artwork of our characters and of our SPCs and a lot of artwork of our stories, because we like to make this a very different type of story, but it's going to be just as engaging as all of our other stories have been here on the St. Pete by Night Entertainment Network, and we guarantee you it's going to be quite a ride. So if you're here for the first time, welcome. And if you've been here before, you know what you're in for. That being said, let's get you caught up to date. Hellhounds. A pack from the city of Hell, Michigan has come all the way down to Tampa Bay, Florida as reinforcements of a sort to back up the Sept of the Evening Star that has positioned itself in the city of Tampa, Florida. But this pack from Hell is anything but prepared for the task of acting as reinforcements because they are ill-trained, ill-suited, and ill-prepared to enter into this world of darkness. They made quite the splash in their first few days of being in Tampa by breaking not one, not two, but three of the litany by challenging the leadership of the Sept, by disrespecting their elders, and by intruding upon another's territory and disrespecting that territory. And as such, karma came back to haunt them, and that karma took the face of Charles Albrecht, the warder of the Sept. And now they are learning just what they have in store for them, as they have been spending the last week in rigorous training under the leadership of Charles Albrecht. They are learning just what limits they will be pushed to and what dangers are in store for them. But do they have what it takes? Will they be up to the challenge? Only time will tell. Meanwhile, they have their own challenges to face. They have their own dark secrets that are haunting them. As Delphine, who struggles with drug addiction, sought out a fix and found it as a ghost of her past came back to haunt her in the form of the thin blood known as Spud, a drug dealer of the area who she doesn't know is a vampire, who has been a local to Tampa for some time and has been dealing drugs in the area, some of them even laced with vampire blood. A drug that Delphine herself has recently imbibed. But she's not the only one dealing with the devil, because Ray, the leader of the pack, has brought his own darkness to Tampa in the form of Jordan, his best friend, a famine-bane possessed individual who struggles to cling to life, to cling to sanity, to cling to existence. And Ray struggles to cling to the truth that it may already be too late to save his best friend, to do what must be done. All this and more will be dealt with over the course of this chronicle. But of course, I couldn't tell this story alone. It would take some pretty impressive players to make this story happen. So let's get to introducing those players. Players, go ahead and introduce yourselves, if you please.
Hello everyone, my name is Jay. I'll be playing fan favorite Deadbeat, Bonar Rune.
Hi there, everyone. I'm Nikki, and I'll be playing the delirious drug addict Delphine, Ruin Speaker, Silent Strider Theurge.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ben. I'm going to be playing Raymond Gorn, the Ghost Counts of Philodox. Definitely not breaking the litany, and his friend is totally fine.
Hello there, I'm Katie, and I will be playing Aurora Rory Woods, the Bonar Galliard, who is totally not an enabler in any of these situations going on right now.
Hello, I'm Lilith. I'll be playing Juniper Kameen, a Black Fury Ragabash, who is literally just a girl. I'm just a girl.
Just a girl indeed. It's been 2 weeks since you arrived in the city of Tampa, and this past week has probably been the worst one yet. Since meeting Charles Albrecht, since being introduced to the warder of the Sept of the Evening Star, every single day has started at dawn and ended at dusk. And almost every minute of that day has been filled with grueling and strenuous physical activity. From running to push-ups to lifting to sparring to physical labor around the cairn. He has worked you to the bone. Meanwhile, he's had you recite the litany over and over and over again. And for every failed repetition of the litany, he's had you run an entire lap around the cairn. That being said, I need each of you to roll an intelligence and politics roll to see if you remember the litany. Deadbeat, we'll start with you.
A solid 1 success.
So that's a no. So we're going to have to make you roll a stamina and athletics roll, since you probably had to run a lap every single day of the past week.
That would be 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
Thankfully, you are physically fit and up to the task. Remembering the litany is not your first concern. Laps are a perfectly fine punishment for you. You're happy to take the lap, and if it means you don't have to learn anything, you take no physical exertion from the task. Delphine, let's follow with you.
I spent a willpower and got 3 successes.
It took some time, but eventually you started to remember those rules of the litany. You did not have to run any laps. You did remember the rules. You take no physical exertion because of the litany. But there are other physical tests you will have to endure. Ray,
I also got 3 successes.
you also remember the litany. You do not have to run any additional laps. Rory,
I got 2.
for half the days of the week, you did not have to run. But for the other half, you did. Roll me a stamina and athletics.
Two successes.
Okay. By the end of the week, your muscles ache. You are sore. You are hurting. You will start this day with 2 points of superficial physical damage and 1 point of superficial willpower damage. Juniper,
I got 2 successes as well.
joining Rory, half the week you have to run, the other half you don't. Roll me a stamina and athletics.
I rolled 4 successes.
Just like Deadbeat, however, running laps is not a big deal for you. You are able to maintain the stamina, the composure, the pace necessary. You are of the woods. You are a hiker. You are a survivalist, this isn't a big deal for you. You are able to do what needs to be done to maintain pace, to maintain speed, to maintain the effort necessary. You take no additional damage due to the running. Now, I need everyone else to give me a stamina and resolve check because of the week's activities.
I got 3 successes.
3 successes.
I got another 2.
Okay.
4 successes.
Okay.
I got 3 successes.
Okay.
I got 5.
Anyone who beat 3 or above does not take any additional willpower damage. They are able to keep the mental composure necessary. Rory, your mind is starting to break under the duress and stress of all of this additional labor. You are not used to being pressed like this. Every day, waking up at dawn, working until dusk, being pushed like this. You're not a soldier. You're not physical. This is not your lifestyle. You wake up when you want. You sleep as long as you want. You're not built for this. Take an additional 2 points of superficial willpower damage.
Would I have been able to howl at the moon any of these days to reduce it by 1?
That is after having done that.
Okay, I will wait until after then to.
This is over the course of the whole week. It would have been more some days, less others. You would have been gaining and recovering throughout the week, but this would have just been
I've been in
over
flow
that
and got it.
time. Yeah. This would have been like the combined total over that time. With that physical exertion, I need everyone to make a strength and athletics test from all of the push-ups.
I only got 2 successes this time.
Okay.
I got 1.
Okay.
Actually got 3.
Okay.
6 successes with a crit.
Nice. And Juniper? Okay, Rory, for your 1 success, you're going to start today with 1 point of aggravated physical damage as one of your muscles has torn from the physical exertion of the push-ups that you have done. Now, you will be able to regenerate that at some point today if you need to, but the effort and the strain of the physical exercise has gotten so bad that it is just grueling at this point, and it is doing too much. It is just too much. Deadbeat. Surprisingly, this is all fine for you. What's not fine, unfortunately, is your mental well-being. I need you to make a composure and resolve check. You are being pushed too far. You do not enjoy being pushed like this. You don't take orders from anyone. Yes, he may have shattered your jaw. Yes, he may be stronger than you. But you're lazy.
I got 1 success.
Take another rage. Going into today, you were at 3 rage. How many successes did you have, Ray, after the push-ups?
It was 2.
2 successes. Okay. Take 2 points of superficial physical damage as well, as the push-ups have also strained you. Your muscles are sore. They are stretched almost to the point of tearing. It's been a while since you've been in boot camp. And he is pushing you harder than boot camp ever has. Because you are Guru, he expects you to do more than any human soldier should be able to. Delphine, surprisingly, you're fine. You're able to keep up. Much to Charles's surprise, who watches with a bemused look. Our final roll, dexterity and athletics. Okay, and Juniper, what did you get on that strength and athletics roll?
I got 4 successes.
Okay, you are also fine on the push-ups. You were able to keep up with the physical exertion with no extra duress. Now, for the dexterity and athletics, he basically makes you run an obstacle course, jumping and sliding over fallen trees, ducking around various obstacles through bushes, all in your Hamid form, not allowing you to take the lupus form at all. Deadbeat, what did you get?
I did have a question. I was wondering if I could perhaps maybe get a bonus for using hairs, maybe get my glory to this roll here.
Sure.
It's only 1 dice, so I got 3 successes, including that extra dice.
Okay. Yeah, you hit just the difficulty, so you were able to maintain nothing impressive, nothing that catches anybody's eye, but you are able to make it through the obstacle course just fine every day. Delphine.
I got 4 with a crit. And yeah, I took a picture and everything.
You actually outpace Deadbeat on the obstacle course, beating his time almost every day. Ray.
Just keep rolling those 3 successes.
You are able to make the time without any extra physical duress on the obstacle course. Rory.
I got a 4.
You also do extremely well on the obstacle course, outpacing both Ray and Deadbeat. And Juniper.
I got 3 successes.
Keeping pace with the majority, you complete the obstacle course. So after a week of these strenuous activities, reaching the end of the obstacle course, you find yourself arriving back in the clearing that is the cairn, panting, sweating, your limbs aching at your sides. How much more of this will you have to take? How many more days will you have to repeat the litany over and over again? Is this what you were sent here to do? Is this what being a guru in the nation really is? What's the point of this? Does this really matter? But to your surprise, instead of more push-ups, instead of more repetitive lessons about the litany or about terminology, there are 5 straw and wood dummies erected in front of you. Charles stands amidst these mannequined dummies. Today, we're going to learn about vampires and how to combat them. First, I want to know what you know.
I know. Am I correctly saying something about not letting them bite or whatever? Something like that? I don't know. Probably.
Rory will be holding her right arm, because I would imagine that's where she got the injury. I remember hearing that if one gets like a stake or something to the heart, it paralyzes them. Some of them turn to dust if you do that.
Very good. Most leeches, if staked directly to the heart, will be paralyzed. But it takes a very precise and powerful strike. With one fluid motion, he reaches behind, grabbing something out of his belt and striking directly into the center of one of the mannequins. And as he does so, the chest of the mannequin shatters. If you're off, even by a centimeter, it's no good. It means nothing. It won't even slow them down. It has to be precise. It has to be powerful. But very good. Yes, it will paralyze them. What else?
From what I've read, though, what Jester has said, we can't confirm anything, but from folklore, garlic, water, running water, glass, silver glass,
Useless.
the sun.
The sun. Yes. The sun will destroy leeches. That is the only reliable source. Sun and fire.
What about our teeth?
Our teeth, like any good blade, will work. But ingesting the flesh of a leech I wouldn't recommend it.
From the smell of that blood you had on you, I wouldn't either.
No, but it is a powerful weapon. It is probably your strongest natural weapon.
What happens? What happens if you eat them?
Other than tasting awful, consider what they are. Beings of the worm. You are ingesting the worm. You are ingesting corruption. You are ingesting something unnatural. You are poisoning yourself. You are opening yourself to corruption. You are poisoning your spirit. You can destroy them with your fangs. You can tear them apart with your jaws. And some of the older leeches will turn to ash immediately, but some of the younger ones will simply decay as if they were fresh corpses.
So does all the time that they gained just catch up to them in that one instant?
Yes. Very good.
From your experience, are the leeches as durable or less durable than us? Or more?
You will find that there are a variety of leeches, just like there are a variety of Guru. They all have different strengths and different weaknesses. Some are very durable. Some are very strong. Some are very fast. Some can disappear from plain sight, just like I'm standing in front of you. They can fade from view. Many of them can mimic the powers that we have. Some can control your mind just by making eye contact. These are all things to be mindful of when coming into conflict with them.
Is there a way to identify whether the leech that we would be going up against would have these certain powers, or is it all random?
This is their greatest strength. No, there is no way to tell. In fact, some of the more powerful leeches, you won't know they're a leech at all until it's too late.
Is there a reason why we keep saying leech instead of vampire? It's just is that like a slur or something, or are we just like, why are we just not calling them vampires?
We don't give them that respect. It's the same reason they call us dogs.
Fair enough.
And like
Mr. Albrecht,
leeches, yes,
you said that you say that the running water, the silver, all of that stuff is useless, but those powers you just described about leeches are very common in literature. How could their weaknesses not also potentially be factual?
because they wrote the books. They want you to believe their weaknesses, but they want you to fear their strengths.
The Bram Stoker was a leech.
No, the one who controlled him was.
So they have servants.
Yes.
Do we know if it's their mental abilities that create these servants?
Their mental abilities, their blood. Ingesting the blood of a leech can bind you to them.
In what way?
There is a supernaturally addictive quality to it.
Is there a way to tell if someone is bound to a leech?
Not necessarily. Not directly, but one of the obvious signs is an undying loyalty. A willingness to do whatever they say. And a yearning for them. If you watch one's health start to decay at a rapid rate, having been separated from their domitor for a great deal of time, much like, and his eyes flit over Delphine, a drug addict separated from their fix. There are physical signs.
Hey, Delphine, sounds like maybe part of the reason why they treat you like shit because they maybe remind them of those blood addict guys, vampire blood addicts, like leech blood addicts.
You in a position to snipe at me, Deadbeat, considering how ragged you've been running today?
I'm sorry. As much as I want to be entertained by this little thing, you said they can rapidly decay.
Yes. If they are bound, and I mean thoroughly bound, a servant of a leech could die within a month, if not fed.
Is this something that like we ourselves are gonna have to worry about happening? Because as you said, like our fangs and our mouths are really good at dealing damage to them. So like if we accidentally ingest some blood, do we have to worry about
Thankfully, no. With study, we've come to learn that you must drink at least 3 times from a leech before being bound. So destroying a leech once and having some of their blood will have no effect on you. Again, other than the taste.
There's probably not that many, right? I mean, considering that we've never, heard of them or see them up, up north. Probably not that many, right?
That day I visited you, we killed 9.
9.
That was a small hive.
So there's more.
Our last accurate count of this city saw at least 60. And it is an inaccurate count.
And that's just in Tampa.
Yes.
You said 60, right? Like less than 100?
It is an inaccurate count. Those are the ones we've seen. Remember, there are those we don't see.
I'm assuming the reason we didn't see them up north where we were is because they tend to congregate in populated areas like Tampa.
A good assessment. They prefer to stick to major cities, places where people are. You won't see them in more rural areas. There are certain leeches that prefer the taste of animal blood and therefore can survive in more desolate places, but most leeches tend towards urban places.
So, like, if we had gone to Detroit, we probably would have caught wind of some of them. They probably like places where people go missing all the time.
Correct.
I'm not gonna lie, it sounds. I mean, I know they're like you said something about them being the worm and corruption or whatever, but like, I mean, what do they do to like cause problem? If they just stick with people, can we just leave them with the people and then we can just focus on the other shit? I mean,
They control the government, they control the media. They aren't just interested in blood, they are interested in dominance. They are interested in control. When you have immortality and time on your side, you want to own everything. And when you have no conscience, no spirit, no morality, you are a predator. You consume and you destroy.
Plus, the first rule of the litany, deadbeat.
well, yeah, but I'm just. I don't know. I mean, it sounds like if they were like, if you're saying they're controlling the government or anything, it makes sense. But you know, if there's such a big threat, like they're immortal, they live forever, and they can keep making more. Like you said, you found 9 already. Like, why haven't they won yet? If they weren't, you know, an actual threat or could actually do anything, you know?
Because we're here.
I can't tell if that's saying that they suck or if that's saying that we're really good. Can't tell which one.
Both. And I appreciate the pun.
I look around, like I kind of look confused for a second, and then oh yeah, yeah. Glad you caught it.
Back to how to kill them. Fire. The sun. A stake to the heart will paralyze them. Yes, we have seen that. Very rarely will it kill them. Extremely rare. However, and at this moment, you see him outstretch his fingers, and from his fingers spring claws, long razor sharp claws extending out of his hand. And as he does so, he swings his hand out towards one of the mannequins, and the claws strike across the neck, and the head comes toppling off the top of the mannequin in one fell swoop. Removing the head is always effective. Again, a precise strike, a powerful strike. The head must be fully removed. If even the smallest bit of skin attaches the head to the body, it will grow back. The leech will continue to exist. You can remove the legs, you can remove the arms. They will always grow back. The head cannot. Remove it with your jaws, remove it with your claws, remove it with a blade. I have found a shotgun to be particularly effective at close range. It always works. Now, how many of you have killed before?
Rory will raise her hand.
I will also raise my hand.
I will slowly raise my hand.
I will raise my hand and say, I did. I mean, also, I could totally do that to dummy too. I got that power too.
Delphine's hands remains at her side.
Charles steps in front of Delphine, reaches into his waistband, and produces a gun, turning it around and holding it out to her. Take it.
She stares at it for a moment, wide-eyed a little bit, because she's never held a gun or used one in her life. And when she hesitantly reaches up to take it, she holds it as if she's never held one before.
I need a volunteer.
Oh, hell no. I just
What
immediately
are
back away.
exactly- What are we volunteering for?
Trust.
I will raise my hand. I will volunteer.
Rory was about to raise her hand before she see raise and she starts to put hers down.
Very good. Step right here. And he points to right in front of Delphine.
I will step directly in front of Delphine.
Take the Glabro form.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And I will call upon the rage and shift into Glabro. My shoulders getting a little broader. My body kind of growing a few more inches. Hair growing down my arms. And I will go Glabro.
As he grows in front of you, growing taller and more menacing, he is going to strike you. The only way you can stop it is if you shoot him.
Whoa, 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 whoa. I don't even know if she knows how to use a gun. Like,
She's
is it
going to
safety dog?
learn.
I thought she was going to shoot me, and I was going to take it. You want me to hit her?
Yes.
I will look at Delphine. You've never held a gun before. I will quickly show you how to correctly hold the gun.
She'll figure it out. The safety's already off.
I will count to 3. And I will put my left foot back and kind of raise my left fist. Okay. 3, 2, 1, and I'm going to punch.
Okay. Is she
I
gonna
would
raise
like
the
to try
gun?
to. She's going to try to dodge it.
Okay. Dexterity and athletics versus strength and brawl.
I would also like to yell out as this is about to happen. I just yell, "Do it, pussy!"
I think my hesitation was showing I only got 1 success.
2 successes.
As he swings, you manage to duck below the swing. Charles looks at Ray with a very stern gaze. Again.
I'll glance at Charles a little bit annoyed that we have to put Delphine through this, but I will step forward a little bit. Delphine, just pull the trigger. This is just training. I will be
How
fine.
is this a trust exercise?
Because I know that you're not
I'm not
going to kill
asking
me.
you, Ray. I'm asking him. And she's looking at Charles. We're supposed to look out for each other, aren't we?
Correct.
So why is us attacking each other, injuring each other like this necessary for trust?
Because you're trusting me as your teacher.
What if I just go out and like find a rabbit for her to shoot or something?
Because a rabbit won't kill you.
Well, Ray's not
Your
gonna try.
friend might, if their brain is controlled by a leech, and you might one day have to point a gun at them.
As this is going on, can I change to Hispo and attack Delphine while she's distracted?
Absolutely. Roll the rage die.
I got an 8 on my rage.
Dropping down to all fours. Taking the form of a large dire wolf, the fur spreading over your body, your clothes tearing off of your form and dropping to the ground. You turn and spring towards Delphine. Roll a strength and brawl.
Okay.
I'm guessing this is a surprise attack.
Roll me a dexterity and stealth versus wits and awareness first. So dexterity and stealth from you, Rory, first, to see if this becomes a surprise attack. Unless you are making it obvious, then I'll give her a chance to... No, you're trying to sneak attack?
No, I'm trying to sneak attack to kind of prove Charles's point.
Okay,
And you
dexterity and
said,
stealth.
okay.
Can I, would I be able to give help to Delphine just for the fact of seeing this happen and start laughing out loud and like kind of pointing towards Rory? Not
Sure.
trying to intentionally help her, but just like seeing how hilarious this is and just kind of ruining her sneak up.
Yeah, I'll give you an extra die on your wits and awareness there, Delphine, based off of Deadbeat's laughter, calling your attention.
With the assistance die, it's 5 successes.
I also got 5 successes.
Okay, tie goes to the defender, so you are able to act. You see a large direwolf leaping towards you.
Since since I'm not expecting it, I feel like I would just instinctively squeeze the trigger as I was turning. Not
Okay.
intending to fire, but you know, guns, they're dangerous.
Give me a dexterity and firearms.
Okay. 2 successes.
Your strength and brawl, Rory.
I also got 2 successes.
Okay, so as the gun goes off, you both collide together. However, no physical damage is exchanged as you are able to kind of step to the side, the gun going off, the loud noise breaking, cracking across the clearing, echoing off into the distance. The two of you kind of graze off of each other, separating. Rory, you kind of go rolling off to the side, turning to face her again. Declare your next intentions.
Rory's going to growl and go for another attack.
Delphine is literally just she's furious right now. Like, she's literally getting angry at this.
Take another rage.
And she's gonna very poorly aim for the ground in front of Rory. She doesn't actually want to shoot her. She's
Okay.
hoping that she just deters her.
Give me a manipulation and intimidation then.
Okay.
Rory, if you want to go for another attack, give me a strength and brawl.
While this is going on, I'd like to walk over to Ray and whisper in his ear.
Sure. What would you like to say?
This is not going to stop until Delphine legitimately fears for her life and pulls the trigger in a way that it's meant to be pulled. If Rory doesn't get her to do it, I can.
I think with both me and Rory, we'll get her to shoot. I think me and her are enough. And then with that, I'm going to charge Delphine.
Okay.
Because I'm still in this.
I got a 2.
1.
Okay. You are not able to. You fire off the gun, but it's not enough to deter her as she breaks through and claws at you. The claw raking across, doing only 1 point of superficial damage to you as it rakes across, scraping at your clothes, tearing open part of your hoodie and raking your flesh, cutting open just across, I would say, your leg. Some blood starting to well across the wound. As you react to the raking wound starting to open is when you see Ray charging at you from the other side. What do you want to do, Delphine?
I'd like to go into Glabro.
Roll me the rage check.
I lost 1 rage, so I'm back down to 1.
Okay.
And I'd like to try to catch his arm as he's trying to punch me.
Okay.
So what would the roll for that be?
So that would be a strength and brawl as well.
Okay, but since I'm changing and I don't have rapid shift, it would just be,
You have
it
the
would be at a
negative
2 dice
2 die.
penalty.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. So dexterity and brawl, you said? Or strength and brawl?
Strength and brawl. Since you're
Okay.
going for a block, you're not trying to dodge it.
I see right now for Deadbeat, I'm just standing off to the side. At first, I was bemused and found this really funny, but as this is kind of dragging on, more gunshots go off. I'm standing in like 80-degree, 90-degree weather. I'm sweating. I'm tired. I'm just getting more kind of frustrated by this passing on and just this weird game of chicken for some reason, just wanting to get Delphine to shoot one of them. And just kind of just annoyance starts spreading across my face as I start tapping impatiently, waiting for these, chuckle fucks to figure out the hell's going on here.
With a spend to willpower, it's 2 successes.
Okay. And Ray?
I got 4 with a crit.
Okay. As you try to raise up a hand mid-transition, your muscles growing, your height growing, trying to raise up to block the blow, it pushes through, striking you in the face, causing your jaw to just kind of turn to the side with a blow. Take another point of superficial physical damage as now in your larger form, your supernatural powers allow you to absorb more of the damage, but it still hurts. You can feel your face starting to swell from that physical, blunt force trauma as it strikes you.
After I hit Delphine, I will stand squarely in front of her. All you need to do is fire the gun. I will not move. Shoot me.
teeth gritted, she'll just shoot him in the foot.
Okay. Roll me a composure and firearms.
So firearms is under physical. So does that? Do I get? This
So if
is
you're
just this feels
aiming-
weird off.
If you're aiming, it's composure because you are focusing on aiming. But if you are kind of running, gunning, it's dexterity and firearms.
No, I mean because of the physical test. It just feels iffy that Glabro with the Glabro and firearms, 2 dice bonus. So like that does.
If you don't want to aim, you can do the physical and take the 2 die bonus if you don't want to focus on a spot. But at that point, you're just swinging the gun up and firing. So you could take the 2 dice bonus if you want to do that. But you're not aiming for the foot. You're just shooting wherever.
Okay, so yeah, composure and firearms. Okay. 1 success.
1 success. Okay. So it's not a precise shot at all. It does graze the foot. Actually, I would say because it's a difficulty 1, it doesn't even hit the foot. It just hits the ground next to the foot because you aren't I mean, you're standing still, but you can't have a difficulty 0. It's a difficulty 1. You still don't hit.
How did you fucking miss? He was standing still. How? Oh my god! Please, can we just shoot someone so we get this over with? Holy shit!
All right, and she'll just turn and shoot Deadbeat.
Okay. Roll me a dexterity in firearms since you are not aiming at this point. You are just swinging around and shooting.
I assume
2
I'm going to
successes.
roll some sort of dodge.
Yeah, you can roll dexterity and athletics.
Would it be considered a surprise since she just kind of like whips around? And
Yeah, I'm going to say a negative 2 dice to your pool there, Deadbeat, as it is unexpected for her to all of a sudden turn and fire on you. I won't give you the complete surprise attack. You can move, but it is slightly delayed.
That's I had 2 dice and I got a 1 and a 1, and both rage, so I got a brutal.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
So you are
for
not
this
doing
document.
damage to anything, so that is a brutal outcome not in your favor. So the
Ow.
gun goes off. Deadbeat. The bullet explodes against your chest. Take 2 points of aggravated damage, physical damage, as the bullet explodes into your chest, breaking across. I will say it hits actually in your abdomen, striking into your abdomen. Pain ruptures through your body. Your rage goes up again because you are taking aggravated damage for the first time. Pain ruptures up through your body as you hit the ground, and blood immediately starts pooling on the ground. At this point, Charles says, "Good. Enough."
Delphine eyes are tearing up a little bit just from the experience of having to do all this. And she throws the gun off to the side and just stomps away. She's just going away.
I immediately go for the gun and make sure the safety is put back on and that the chamber is empty. Do all the safety checks before looking at Delphine stomping away, and then looking back at Charles, kind of like handing the gun back over, not taking one single look at Deadbeat.
Rory
Sure.
will kind of huff at Ray, and then she'll shift back, kind of not caring that she's butt-ass naked in the moment, and go tend to Deadbeat's shot.
Since I got the brutal failure, don't I get one of the compulsions, or something happens because of that?
You took the aggravated damage from it. That's the the negative
because
to
I
it
thought
as you took extra damage.
Okay. Poor rage. I'm just still laying, like, imagine I got shot, I kind of like fell back, and I'm like kind of laying on my side, almost like face down, holding the bullet wound, as I'm just laying there, just trying very hard. 'Cause there's the thought, there's the raging wolf in my chest, in my brain, that's just like, just go crying oath and just tear this bitch up, just make her pay for doing that. But he's just trying really hard, like, I shouldn't do that right now. I should at least wait. And I'm just composing myself on the ground and writhing in pain.
If you want, you can spend a willpower to just force yourself to stay calm in this moment so that you don't have to make any rolls or checks.
If Charles wasn't here, I wouldn't do it, but there's Charles, so I'll spend a willpower for
Okay.
now.
So, taking a deep breath, pushing through the pain, you force down every urge inside you to lose control, keeping that wolf, keeping that anger at bay as Rory approaches.
I'd like to start administering first aid,
Okay.
just to at least stop the bleeding.
Deadbeat, do you allow her to tend to your wounds?
I would kind of like lay back, like kind of seeing you, look you up and down. Just this once.
Okay. Roll me wits and medicine.
What's in medicine? Do I get my first aid?
Yeah.
Also clarify, if Rory wasn't naked, I'd probably say no. But now that Rory is, it's a little bit more accepting of this happening.
Fair enough.
Of course it is. I got 4 successes. Deadbeat actually for the first time would see the 4th tattoo that the pack hasn't seen yet. One kind of on her hip of an initial of the letter M. And she'll tear his shirt off and start actually like packing in the bullet hole.
Okay. So because of the 4 successes, we will turn one of those aggravated into superficial. So as you're tending to the wounds, everybody separating, Charles takes the gun from Juniper with a nod, holstering it back on his hip. He looks towards Ray with a respectful nod. Thank you.
I don't think anyone else would have done it. And with us going into a war, we all need to understand the things that we need to do. I wish it didn't get us out of hand.
I just slowly turn my head and stare at Ray as he says, I don't think anybody else would have done it.
This is a very real possibility. I know from experience. You have to understand. The strength of leeches isn't always in their physical prowess. An advantage they have over us is their control of the mind. And they will use it every chance they get.
Is there a way for us to fight back against it? Or are we just going to be subject to fighting each other like this?
In time, yes. With training, yes. But it is always a risk. Some of the more powerful leeches can break through even our strongest defenses. Your typical leeches, your street leeches, won't have those kind of abilities. But every leech you encounter could be a powerful leech, and you need to be prepared for that possibility.
I understand.
He looks over towards the direction that Delphine stalked off, and she'll understand in time. I know that was a difficult exercise for her, but this war isn't easy.
What war is ever easy?
Exactly.
Oh my god, that was fucking corny. Also, you're welcome for doing the thing that none of y'all could
As
do, which is
he's
getting her to shoot
talking,
you.
yeah, as he's talking, Rory's just gonna push a little harder on the bullet hole to try and get him to shut up.
Speaking of Deadbeat over there on the ground, are those is that bullet gonna end up coming out of him, or should we start fishing it out?
It'll come out when he starts to heal. It will push its way out.
Damn it. All right. I mean, yay. Good for him.
Well, I give him something else to brag about to the ladies.
Take some time to rest. Appreciate your surroundings. That's enough for today. And Charles turns and heads off further into the cairn, leaving the rest of you to consider the training that's taken place, the words that he's said, and to talk amongst yourselves. With this, we transition to a side conversation between Ray and Juniper as they step off away from the rest of the group. Ray, you ask Juniper to go for a walk through the cairn and out amongst the bawn, as you haven't really had an opportunity to really appreciate the cairn in a non-strenuous capacity, and you've wanted to check in with your packmate since your arrival. You really haven't had the opportunity to do so, whether it's been because of Deadbeat's constant annoyances, or the other needs of the pack, or the constant litany breaks, or the other stresses that have been weighing upon you. You know that this has been a difficult transition for her, and she hasn't really been around a lot. She seems to have spent a great deal of time with stakes, out of the house. So as you're walking out into the woods along the edge of the clearing, the two of you have a moment to yourselves to talk. The scene is yours.
Walking down through the cairn, kind of taking in what just happened and what, unfortunately, we had to put Delphine through. I'm a little quiet for the first 5 minutes or so while walking, but after a bit, I'll, without looking at Juniper right now, just looking around the cairn. So how are you doing with coming down here? We haven't really talked before moving ever since we had that one-on-one before the trial.
I'll take a second to kind of eye him and notice that he's looking around and not directly at me. Just kind of assume that he's feeling a little awkward about even asking. I mean, I'm doing okay, I guess. Better than the night we found out, that's for sure. How about you, man?
I'm taking it in stride. I mean, our first introduction to everything down here was worse than the trial. So it's been rough. But I know, like you said, your reaction to coming down here was volatile. You were definitely not wanting to come down here. So it's kind of good to see you not as angry as before.
I mean, I wouldn't use the word volatile. I haven't been volatile yet.
Touche.
But anyway, it definitely hasn't been the easiest transition. But at least we're keeping busy and not allowed to wallow in any feelings we might be having. I just kind of like roll my eyes a little bit and look over in a different direction towards another part of the wildlife around us.
From my previous experience going through boot camp, that was one of the benefits. You know, you go through the training every day, get pushed to your limits, get broken down and built up again, and you can't really think during that time. So this week's been rough, but at least we haven't had more time to implode like we have when we first got here.
Yeah, kind of wish it was even more rigorous. That way, some of us would be even less able to think, or at least think long enough to open their mouths.
And I mean, him opening his mouth allowed Delphine to complete the assignment. So, in this one instance, I'll take Deadbeat mouthing off as a plus.
I actually have a sort of half smile on my face at that. Yeah. I suppose we should mark today off as the one day Deadbeat did something right, huh? Just don't tell him that.
I mean, I won't if he won't, but that one mark is definitely riddled with hundreds of the wrong day. So, he's still outnumbering it.
Yeah. This one will be just our little secret. How are you? I know we just talked about not really having time to think, but how are you doing with everything that you told me about? Are you still doing okay with it? With your first change or whatever?
I'll look down at Juniper a bit, about 3-4 seconds, and kind of look back to the trail and shrug. I mean, I can't really think about it. I don't really remember it. I just know the aftermath. If I do think about it too much, it would be too overwhelming. So I choose not to. I want to forget it, but I don't know if I can.
Trust me when I say I understand that sentiment very well.
I don't think when we talked last, we really discussed your first change. Was it also pretty rough?
It's as Stakes said it was. And she gives him a look, a nod at their first conversation about it. I can't get their faces out of my head.
I don't think I can really connect my first change with yours, but I can connect me losing my squad, and I can understand the faces of those that you cherished and the ones that you've loved. Seeing their last moments is undescribable. But if you can carry that grief and that pain and turn it into drive, which you have in some sense with your goal towards getting revenge, you can use it. But that pain will always be there.
Yeah. I've managed to somehow navigate my way onto that path. You know, since trust seems to be the reoccurring theme as of late, I'll trust you enough to say that after it happened and I came to, I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to be what I had become, and I just wanted to be with my family. And so I buried myself in the snow. And I almost didn't make it out. And for the first time since December, the other day when I was out with Stakes, and we were building up little dens and stash places, for the first time, I was glad that she pulled me out of the snow.
At this point, I'll stop walking and kind of turn to face Juniper fully. The deepest moment of your emotions, I don't think I can relate, but I thank you for trusting me with that piece of you. And I'm happy that you have started to find those little moments again. I know after everything that happened with me, it was happy moments are far in between. But if you can find them, hold on to them. And if you do need to talk to me about anything, We can build up this trust some more. Not as your pack leader, but as a pack mate. I'm here.
I appreciate that, Ray. And right back at you. You know, I've never gone to war, but I've seen the effects that it has on people who have. And I know how hard of a burden that is to carry. So, if you find yourself ever in need to vent or anything, you can trust me too.
I appreciate it.
Newfound respect and understanding. These are the foundations that a pack can be built on. Can these connections be forged among all the members of the pack? Well, maybe in time. But hey, it's got to start somewhere. And why not here? Why not now? But as we know, these two aren't sharing everything. Because as they turn to continue their walk through the woods, talking about trust, talking about sharing, their minds can't help but wander. One to a house across town in Tampa where a skeletal figure's raspy breathing echoes through empty rooms. And another towards burning rubble up in Michigan. And the devoured corpses that once lay there. We'll be back in just a few minutes after a short break. See you shortly. Welcome back. In the first half, we got to witness the strenuous training the Hellhounds have been put through at the hands of Charles Albrecht. Delphine specifically was put to the test when she was asked to shoot one of her own pack members, because leeches control the mind, or at least have a knack for controlling the mind. And what was a training exercise could become a very deadly reality in the future. Then we saw a bonding moment between Ray and Juniper. But was there more said than was withheld? Now, in the second half, we find Rory, after having patched up Deadbeat, who was shot by Delphine. She has found her spare pair of clothes that were stashed at the cairn on Charles's advising, and has changed, cleaning the blood off herself and going for a walk along the cairn, where she comes upon Jester, who has been helping Eliza tend to some responsibilities within the cairn. Rory, you've been contemplating some of the things you've seen in the cairn over the last week, including that strange swing that hangs from the limbs of one of the trees, and that mounted sword up in one of the trees. Who better to answer this query than the Galliard of the Sept, the tale singer? As you approach, the scene is yours.
Rory will kind of still be nursing her arm. Now that she's kind of like cooled off from the exercise and stuff, she put a t-shirt back on instead of just rocking the sports bra and cargo pants that she's kind of just been rocking throughout Charles's training. And she'll quietly approach, but like not quiet enough to like startle them. And just kind of, when she gets close enough to Jester, she'll turn to the both of them and just go, evening, tale singer, and I'm sorry, I don't believe we've met yet.
Eliza turns, dressed in a long, flowing sundress that pools almost at her feet. Well, hello. You must be Rory.
That's my name.
My name's Eliza Ross. I am the Right Master. It's a pleasure to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you as well. And she'll dip her head slightly.
Jester will turn, gardening trowel in hand. She is dressed in a black sports bra and very tight shorts, gym shorts, and motorcycle boots.
Is everything okay over there? We heard gunshots, and that was, well, I'd say unusual, but since Charles is training y'all, I can only assume it's par for the course.
He was teaching us a valuable lesson about the leeches, and well, one of ours is just learning how to use a gun.
Does anybody need tending to?
I already took care of him. And she'll roll her eyes begrudgingly about that. But I appreciate it.
Well, all right then. I'll let the two of you talk. I got some other things to be taken care of anyway. Ya holla if you need anything, Jester.
Yeah.
That Eliza gives a warm smile to Rory and gathers up some of her tools in a satchel and starts making her way off across towards another part of the clearing.
So, how are you feeling about training?
Well, I have more respect for my pack leader now. Though I'm sure this is, in a sense, tougher than what he may have had to go through.
Yeah, Charles tends to put people through their paces. Trust me, I know. Personal experience. I'll finish planting this one plant with, and then set the trial down. But I doubt you've come here just to chit chat about training. So, what's up?
Truthfully, I wanted to galliard to galliard, and she'll look at the sword in the swing, see if I could get some of the stories. You don't really see swords mounted in anything except in like movies and storybooks nowadays, or theme parks.
Hmm. I mean, your Sept didn't have any claves?
I don't believe so, and if we did, they weren't mentioned.
Well, most likely not. She'll stand and rub the back of her shoulder for a moment. Come on. Would you like to see it up close?
I would.
I take it if you didn't see any, you probably didn't even know what they are, do you?
Not a clue.
It's a Garu thing. It's an honor to actually carry one. Uh, Claves are silver weapons. Usually they're, trust me, Lucas could tell you more about them, but he's not here. He's busy off doing Lucas things, so they are weapons for killing Garu.
I would imagine so if they're made out of silver. And she'll kind of like grimace once you mentioned that it was made out of silver. And confusion and curiosity also cross her face in that same look.
It's also become a bit of a tradition and honor to carry one.
And this goes back to like way back when. And it's kind of like a. Well, I don't want to say a rite of passage. That might not be the right term, but like a. An honor in a sense.
Yeah. Um, Strangely enough, that one is the third that's in our pack. The Sept itself. I carry one, Lucas carries one, and then we made this one for Aspen in honor of her leadership.
And she doesn't carry it, she just leaves it here.
Yeah, it's more no, she doesn't carry it. She's not really one for wielding large silver swords.
Nah, lawyer doesn't seem to like match that type, but things surprise you in the evenings, I suppose.
True. Trust me, she's more likely to cut you with words than she is to be a sword. But she will surprise you on a few things if anybody tries to tussle with her, though.
I will keep that in mind and not give Deadbeat the heads up.
I don't think he'd get a chance.
No, he wouldn't, and I'm thinking his ego is a little bruised after today.
I take it he's the one that got shot?
Indeed, he is.
So, the story behind this particular one, Lucas wanted it made as, yeah, an honor for Aspen, who, well, she's done a lot for us here. We I suppose our pack, you can consider a bunch of lost children that came together and became a family. So we wanted to show her appreciation, and we had it made and engraved with our greatest moment as well as hers. She'll point out along the blade there are 5 pictures. Um, the first one at the closer to the tip is a star with a moon, 5 of tribe symbols underneath it, with the silver fang in the middle. To the right is the glasswalkers and the Black Furies the farthest out. To the left of the middle is the Gale Stalkers and the Ghost Council the farthest. The second symbol, or the second picture, is 3 Garu that seem to be fighting an emaciated Garu, except that it has a skull for a face. And they appear to be losing to it. The third, which is the largest symbol that sits in the middle, is a Garu with the silver fang symbol in the chest, smashing the moon into this dome that covers the other Garu fighting. And then the fourth symbol is 2 Garu flying down, crashing into the emaciated Garu. There are lines behind each of them representing the flying. And then the last is 5 Garu holding this tear-shaped gemstone.
I'm guessing these are all your pack.
Our original pack that was here when we did this, 2 of them are not here now, and one is visiting other Septs, trying to bring goodwill to our Sept. Do you know what a Tear of Gaia is?
Not a clue.
Wow. Okay. So they are most people consider them mythic. They believe they're actual tears of Gaia, but they're these stones that can help people overcome Harano or Hoglosk. When they get too deep in it, they can help them. But practically nobody has ever seen one, so it's considered mythic. We went into the Umbra and found one for Eliza to help her so we could get a cairn going.
You said they believe. What about you?
I've held it in my hand, so I believe it's true. I've seen it. I've seen it work.
Rory will continue to look the blade over a little bit more and kind of like absorb everything that Jester has been telling her. You said that 2 are no longer with your pack?
Yeah.
I'm sorry for that loss.
Thanks. One left almost a year ago. Don't know where he is now. Probably back with his old Sept still. I don't know. But Aiden died fighting Bloody Mary. She will glance at the tree with the like burrow under it and just like have a very sad look on her face for a moment before turning. He actually built the swing. Eliza once told him that the only time she'd felt more at peace than here in the cairn was sitting at her home on a porch swing. Of course, he was lupus and had never seen a porch swing in his life, so he did the best that he thought a porch swing would be, which is the tree swing.
And I'm guessing that burrow was his.
Sort of.
He'll go over to the swing and the burrow and just kind of look them over. Look at not sitting on the swing, but like look at like the condition of it. Seeing how like if it was actually like decently made or if it's more aesthetic.
Sure, roll me a wits and investigation.
I got 3.
Looking over it, it's actually well crafted. Funny enough, it's made out of primarily natural materials. So the seat of the swing looks like it was whittled out of fallen wood, fallen tree wood, and the ropes that make the swing itself look like they were actually hand woven rope made out of vine and cord put together. This looks like it was mostly bushcraft that put this together, but it is very stable and well crafted, and it looks like it will hold for quite some time.
That was mighty kind of him to do this for her.
Like I said, we're kind of like a family here.
You said your pack was kind of a bunch of lost souls that found each other. Did you all squabble and fight as much in the beginning?
We've had fights, but not terribly big. I mean, we still have fights occasionally, but I mean, it hasn't really gotten anything physical. I've had it out with Aspen. She's had it out with me occasionally. I, if you want to call it training with Aiden, like we've gotten to some squabbles. Like, I definitely would piss him off enough so he would fight with me. Lucas can be a right asshole, so we argue a lot.
All right, good to know that it's not just our hot mess.
I mean, not gonna lie, you guys are a hot mess. But in the beginning, we were strangers. But this city and our cause brought us together, as well as some loss.
Do you think that'll help us out with our pack?
It's not what I hoped for. But being Garu, it's like an inevitability. Loss.
So it seems. And she'll kind of like put her hand on the tree with the burrow, just kind of like, again, observing it, kind of taking it in.
Roll me a composure and resolve.
I'm gonna burn a willpower. All right, I got 2.
As you touch the tree, you feel the breath catch in your throat. As for a moment, you're transported. A flash takes your vision, and you're falling. No, you're not falling. You're diving. Diving towards the water below. Diving with every instinct, every impulse, every urge inside of you. Because everything you love, everything you care for, is in danger. You're diving knowing that this is the last thing you're ever going to do. You're diving knowing you're about to die. But you knew you were going to die. You've known for months. But it means she gets to live. The next few moments of white-hot anger are painful. But the pain stops. And then there's peace and calm. And quiet. You did what you were supposed to do. You fulfilled your purpose. You protected. And now you can rest. And then you're back. As you catch your breath, able to breathe again.
She'll pull her hand away from the tree and wipe at her eyes real quick and blink a few times. Well, now I know how Delphine feels when she does some of that stuff.
What happened?
I was falling and I guess the best way I can describe it is I felt what your pack member felt. I had nothing to I'm it's difficult to describe. Like, I had everything to lose and everything to protect, but I knew I was going to die, but I can now be at peace because I did what I needed to do. At one point, there was a lot of pain, but
I'll stare at the tree for a very long time with my brow furrowed, um, and then for a moment just wipe my eyes. He was Who is the best?
He seems like it. Or at least based on what the tree just showed me.
Interesting. I didn't know you'd be able to see that.
Rory will look a little confused. That's not a normal thing if we're going around and... I mean, I figured it would be normal for Delphine.
Do you have much contact with the spirits?
There's really only one that's kind of been in contact with me. But only a few times, and she'll pull out the lighter. She's not gonna light it. She's a little nervous to light it in the cairn.
Spirit of the lighter?
She pops up every time I light up a cigarette, or every now and then. I don't know their preferences. We call her Ember. I was gonna call her Sparky, but Delphine and Ray came up with a better name.
Hmm. She your pack patron?
We have those.
Most packs do. They have a patron spirit that watches after them, aids them, speaks to them for other spirits, offers advice. We call ours Star. She's a loon. Jester will look up and like blow a kiss in the air, like "love you." She was actually the loon spirit that showed us how to find the tear.
The more you know. I just thought we all had our own little ones for our tribes.
No, usually when you form a pack, you have a patron spirit that has a common goal or beliefs, and they tend to help you out. There are some things that they'll expect from you, but they are also very, very helpful, and it's good to maintain relations with them.
Well, it's a good thing I planned on stocking up on lighters.
I take it the rest of your pack doesn't know this either, do they?
Probably not. You can assume that we know
Next to nothing?
next to nothing. Yeah, exactly. We're very young.
Yeah, I have figured that out since we first met. All right, so you probably want to get the pack together and probably tell them this, but there is probably a little right you could do to call her or them, whatever they are, and form the bond with her, them, it.
I'll ask Amber next time we see him what she, he, her, they, it prefers.
I mean, if you'd like, I could get Eliza to give me instructions on the right and send them to you. I'm sure your Theurge could perform it.
I would appreciate that.
Sure, I'll get that over to you sometime this week.
Thank you, and thank you for telling me a little bit about the history and the stories here.
Sure, I'm happy. If anytime you want to talk, if I have time, I love sitting down and chatting about stories. It's kind of our thing as Galliards.
I'd appreciate that. We had one back at home, but I didn't really hang out with him much. It's mainly just trying to earn my keep.
What was your old Sept like?
How do I best describe it? Well, it was very rural up there, and the town was very small. Our our leader owned a bar. Kinda looked like the tough type. Um, you've met Stakes.
Mm-hmm.
Our Theurge, he owned a horse ranch. I didn't really speak to him much. I know Delphine don't speak highly of him. Kinda just small and really didn't see many of them unless, like, we had a meeting. Didn't even really stick in town much, because that's not where the money was.
Money. You're interested in money.
You need it to survive.
Fair. Fair. Just those who get too caught up in money forget important things in life.
You can definitely say that again.
Well, I'm sorry that you didn't seem to have a very engaged Sept, and I feel like most of you probably suffered for it. Hopefully, hopefully we can catch you up.
I'm hoping, especially now that we're going from middle of nowhere to a war. I want to learn as much as I can to make sure we can minimize the casualties.
Yeah, I hope you all do.
With a great
Look,
deal left to learn, and even more still to teach, two Galliards have shared stories today, with many more stories still to share. What are your final thoughts to share with Rory? Jester.
I'm not gonna lie. Charles Charles can seem like a big nightmare, but what he's trying to teach you will help you survive. And really, if you follow 3 bits of advice I'm going to give you, you should be fine. First, don't break the litany. Second, if he tells you to do something, just do it. And third, don't bring any shit back on the Sept. And he'll be fine with you. Now, he may judge what you do silently, but he will be fine with it.
He definitely seems like that type. But I'll keep that in mind. And I'll be sure that at least one of us attempts to drill that into Deadbeat at some point.
Oh, I'm sure he'll get several lessons if he doesn't end up getting himself killed by what's in the city.
Well, I'm sure as well, and it'll be a little bit of a enjoyable experience to watch.
That being said, Rory, as you step away from this encounter with Jester, having had a strange experience, having felt the final emotions, the final thoughts, the final feelings of Aiden Goodspeed, what's going through your head?
She definitely has a new perspective on all of this. If Charles' training didn't kind of drill into her how serious this was, those feelings that Aiden experienced in the end definitely did, and brought a new perspective to what it means to be a guru to her. She's now wondering if the pack, especially after today because of how emotional it got after that training, will be able to actually come together, or if this is just going to be another wedge between all of us. And she feels kind of content as well getting to hear some of those stories and learning what it means to be a Galliard, in a sense, even though it wasn't like a direct, this is how you do it. Like, the between the lines kind of gave her a little bit more of like, oh, this is what it means to be in my role now.
And Jester, having seen through a young Galliard's eyes, having had your first real teaching moment as the elder Galliard, what's going through your mind?
This is a really odd position I am in. I've always thought of myself as the fuck up, but now I actually have to try and teach the new ones. So it's weird. Also, didn't know the tree could just transfer memories to anybody.
You never stop learning, whether you're the young one or the elder. There's always new stories to be told. We transition now across the cairn to a very, very angry Theurge who just had an experience of their own that they will probably never forget. Delphine, after having shot Deadbeat, after having been put through a very difficult trial by Charles, you stormed away, feeling a lot of intense feelings. Where did you go, and what was going through your head?
Delphine didn't have a destination in mind, but she wanted to get away from the cairn just because she feels like the cairn rejects her anytime she goes near it. She literally feels that push. So she would go far away from it, shaking the entire time from how angry she was, eventually just starting to cry a little bit. And through her mind the entire time, just thinking about how she got put into a situation she didn't ask for, how it didn't make sense for her that a trust exercise with her pack involved having to shoot one of them and attack each other, because it felt backwards for her. It felt like it was just driving more of a wedge, and with Deadbeat being himself and antagonizing from the sidelines, laughing, jeering, she snapped and felt more divided from him in that moment. She felt just the anger pivoting towards him, remembering how he was prepping to throw her under the bus back in hell.
Stalking.
And instinct took over.
Instinct took over. Stalking out into the woods, away from the clearing. You feel that press of the spiritual energy of the cairn almost ushering you out, helping you along, almost guiding your way towards the edge of the cairn and out, lightening your steps. Before you know it, you're deep in the woods. And here is where you find a place to collapse in your emotions, to feel all of these feelings. Why this trial? Why this test? How does this help? How does this help anyone? What good is a gun in your hands? You're not the fighter. You're the Theurge. You're supposed to see. You're supposed to speak. What good are you divided further? You're already cracking and falling apart. Isn't that what caused you to be here in the first place? What's not going to help things, of course, is the sounds of the snapping branches and heavy footfalls stalking up behind you, as the unsubtle steps of Deadbeat follow in your wake. Deadbeat, you sought out Delphine for a very specific purpose, as something had been weighing on your mind over the last week. And you were intending to catch her and speak to her alone before she shot you. But now you have some extra spice and motivation. So with the fire burning in your belly, even though you've put a lid on that particular boiling pot, you approach, and the scene is yours.
Something that I wanted to start out with, and something that's been kind of weighing on me because I'm just considering. I see Delphine in these trials. I've been seeing how well she's been doing, and something's not right. The Delphine I remembered when she was coming back from hell was a mess. She could barely do anything. She was fiending like crazy, and yet now she suddenly seems got this, little fire back in her step. She's got a little bit of more energy in her. So I wanting to know if I can do some sort of insight to see if I can tell there's some sort of difference, like tell that she's got something in her, because there's some suspicion already with how well she's been doing, and especially considering we did the hike and she almost passed out. All this is kind of suspicious.
Sure, give me a wits and insight check.
Oh my goodness, it's a 5 with a crit.
It's not too difficult to tell from the lack of the shaking hands, the lack of the tremor in her voice, the more steady steps. Now you've probably been around your fair share of ne'er-do-wells and people who've been hard up in the past, and you've seen Delphine in all states before, after using, before using, having not used in quite some time. You've spent months together. She's used, and relatively recently. Her confidence, her calm, how well she's doing, as you've said. She's probably scored to be doing so well. She is not suffering nearly as much as she should be for how bad off she was merely a week ago.
Kind of like walking up still kind of holding my adamant a little bit. It still kind of hurts. But if I don't bend in certain ways or move and turn around, it's not too bad. I'm kind of walking up, trying to keep my composure so far as I feel the boiling rage inside me as I start walking up. I couldn't take it anymore, huh? Place just kept pushing you out. Daddy Charles telling you to shoot someone. Surprise! Seems like you got your score. Everything should be fine now, right? Got that fire back in your step. Got the courage to fucking shoot me.
Did I ask you to follow me?
I don't need your permission to follow you.
I don't want you around here right now. Leave me alone, okay?
That sucks to fucking sucks because I need you right now, unfortunately. Just to start taking some steps forward. I try and find somewhere nearby to kind of sit down and rest for a second as I'm trying to relax my wound.
There's a good stump nearby from a fallen tree, so you limp your way over and drop down upon it, feeling the soreness of the hole in your side, but you settle into a comfortable lean.
But first, surprised that you got your fix down here. I know it wasn't just anything that would get you all right. With that weird ass thing that you were grabbing in the box, I don't remember what the hell that was. Like cocaine, where the fuck? I don't know, but what? You found a new dealer down here?
None of your fucking business, Deadbeat.
Might not be my business, but I'm sure that Ray might care, or Charles, or the rest of the Sept might care if their Theurge is back on the drop. Getting hooked on again.
I'm barely a fucking Theurge.
I'm barely a guru here either. I mean, we're both of us getting pushed out of here by the fucking whatever the hell spirit thing, this mark of shame.
Also, Ray fucking knows I use. Charles fucking looked at me when he said drug addict. Everyone knows I use, you piece of shit.
Everyone knows that you use, but they might not know that you're back on it.
They never knew that I was off of it.
Delphine, you think you can hide that? It's obvious as hell. The shaking hands, how you could barely get anywhere, cranky ass attitude. Fuck, it's obvious, Delphine. And you think you're gonna be able to hide it for much longer?
Can you leave me alone, alright? You're just as much of a piece of shit as I am, okay?
Never denied I wasn't.
I don't need a guilt trip from you because it's not gonna work. You can't make me feel bad about myself, Deadbeat.
I don't need to. I already know that you feel like shit about yourself. What the fuck would I need to do? I can't do anything worse than you already do to yourself, and especially that right of shame. What the fuck would I do?
Then how
But-
come you're trying to guilt trip me like a white suburban mother?
Because you fucking shot me, first of all.
Like you didn't deserve it, Mr. Jeering from the sidelines.
Oh yeah, shoot me instead of the two people who were decided to try and kill you or maim you for the sake of someone else's orders. Yeah, shoot me instead. I didn't
You
go out there to
seem-
try and fucking punch you or scratch you. They did on the order of Charles.
Well, you seemed pretty good at healing. So I thought you might be better at it than the rest of them. We're all still young, aren't we? I've actually seen you heal. You're actually pretty good at it. Happens when you get beat up a lot.
I've taken my fair share of beatings. I know how to get back up. Still, as pissed as I am, I actually need you for something like I said. Besides just being pissed off at you for what you did. Something about spirits and shit. You're the one that seemed to, the best shot I got. I don't know what the hell anyone else here, and I don't want to talk to the rest of them, the rest of the Sept. What did they say? Liza was one of them or whatever. Someone like
I
that.
don't. Yeah, Eliza, and I don't think they told us about the other one. I didn't get his name at least. Or her name.
Never the case. You're the best shot I got at this. So, I don't know if this, like, how the spirit shit works. Do spirits normally talk to you, like, outside of spirit world? I thought you had to go into spirit world to mess with them.
No. Me and Ray actually talked to one back in hell before we left.
Alright, I mean, I've just... Well, there's a couple things that happen. I'm not sure how the hell to interpret it. I don't know if it's the same thing or not. It's this... Before I left, I was, passing a bowl around with some friends, and one of them used a lighter. This weird little thing just, like, I don't even know how to describe it, like fire with eyes looking thing staring at me, saying that it could see me or whatever. Weird as hell. I don't know. It just kind of did that, then vanished. Thank God. I didn't want my night to get ruined by that.
She smiles a little bit as you describe the spirit. That's Ember.
Okay, the Emperor an asshole, because recently, after I had an argument with Ray, a disagreement, had this weird ass, like, deep voice in my head telling me to get all riled up to, like, beat the shit out of you guys, which normally I wouldn't be too opposed to, but kept talking about, like, not taking this shit from you guys. Talked about getting a collar on me, called me saying I was being your bitch and good boys, and just pissed me the fuck off. So what the hell was that? And I want to go to the Umbra and beat the shit out of it.
I wouldn't describe Ember's voice as deep or growly, however you described it. So I think that it's safe to assume that might have been a different spirit. And to go along with your next point, no, I'm not gonna fucking take you to the Umbra to beat up the spirits because we're already shamed and the spirits already don't like us. Also, why the fuck would I do anything for you right now?
Kind of lean back for a moment, take a kind of deep breath in, because that, like, wolf thing we're talking about, like the evil, like, the fuck you're talking about in Michigan, the wolf, the big bad wolf, like, didn't you talk about it, like, being, like, really violent and, like, mean or whatever? 'Cause, I mean, the thing was talking about thrashing everyone around me without feeding into my anger. I mean, it's your chance to find out if it followed us down here, if it's really interested in us. Go to the Umbra, see if it's there, and then you can
If it
see if
is
these guys
there,
actually believe you.
if it is there, I'm not going in there.
So you're just gonna hide? Just hide away from this? Not know if it's there or not? Close your eyes like all the other people at the old Sept?
Remember how Charles broke your jaw?
Fortunately, Charles isn't here for you right now. So.
No, that's not why I brought that up. That thing made me feel like it could destroy my soul.
So you don't want to know if it's around in case it destroys one of the other people's souls? Or you just don't care?
Turning away from Deadbeat now and just glancing around the clearing, I would like to activate Penumbral Senses.
Okay.
All right, so intelligence and wisdom. 2 successes.
It's a struggle at first to activate your sight beyond. There's definitely a resistance here, because as you've traveled far, the reach of the cairn extends pretty far beyond the immediate boundaries. The Bawn, as it's called, is the territory that surrounds the immediate cairn. But a cairn is a spiritual epicenter, an access point for Guru. And even with your mark of shame, it isn't against wisdom. So, you are able to push through. You are granted access. Like a photo negative over a photo of itself, you start to see beyond. And much to your pleasant surprise, the area around you, unlike most places you've gazed, most places you've used your sight, is pleasant, is rich, is protected, is full. Around you, there are spirits, sentries in the trees. Some of them look down on you, not judging, but watching, guarding, observing, making sure that whatever it is you're doing isn't going to bring harm to this place. Others look outward, beyond, ever watchful, ever present. But everything within the boundaries of this place feels alive, feels safe. Never before have you ever felt so connected. Even at the cairn back home, a well-established cairn, that place compared to this place felt wrong in comparison. This place feels clean. You feel beneath your feet a pulsing beat. Slow, very slow. Like a heartbeat that is possibly near its end, trying to push out its last few beats. Slowing down, but trying to hold on. But there's still some life in it yet. But looking around, there's no danger here. This place is secure. This place is safe, at least in the immediate area. Looking further out, beyond these walls, beyond this Bawn, the wild rules. It runs rampant. As you are deep within the confines of the park, of nature. This is the wild's domain. A well-chosen preserve. Letting your gaze drift over. Out amongst the trees. You feel your breath catch in your throat. As you see, prowling amongst the trees, a wolf. Large and terrifying. The only difference is this one glows white. It looks at you, looks you up and down, rolls its eyes, and then keeps walking.
Wow. Deadbeat. There is a wolf.
There is just that one you're talking about.
It's looking you up and down. I can see it right now. And it's judging you. It's rolling its eyes at you.
Weird. I remember the one that was talking to me, I guess the voice that was talking to me before talked about like saying that it was me, but like my best, what I could be, like my best self. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just decided to piss off now. When like spirits talk to your head and stuff, can you like get stuff from them? Like I know we get our powers from packs and stuff. Like can I just like if a ghost talking to my head, can I talk like make a deal with them and like get something from it?
I mean, you can, but the one thing I did learn from up in hell is that spirits are crafty. And they are a little tricky and will try to get the upper hand, kind of like in fairy tales. Like Rumpelstiltskin. You know about Rumpelstiltskin?
Yeah, kinda vaguely. I think I remember hearing that like what, third grade or whatever.
Yeah, he made a deal with a woman. He would teach her to spin straw into gold so she could marry the prince, but in return, she had to give him her firstborn child. And the only way she could get out of the deal is if she told him, if she could recite his name, which he never gave. The wolf I see definitely does think you're a bitch, though.
Let's tell that wolf that I think it's a bitch.
I mean, they can hear you.
You're a bitch, wolf.
I'm watching the wolf to see if it reacts.
Doesn't stop walking.
It didn't bother it one bit. I don't think you intimidate her or him. Or them.
Either. Whatever the case is, if the one that kind of fucks off now doesn't say that shit to me again.
Oh, probably will.
The spirits haunt people now. They got nothing better to do. Like they not go do their own shit, like spirit tasks, whatever. They can just haunt people and just have all the time in the world.
You know what the best way to fuck with someone is?
What's that?
Is to really drill into the thing that they're insecure about.
The thing I don't think maybe it was trying to fuck with me, but it gave me more the impression that it was trying to get me to be something, you know? Because I kept saying like saying that it could be the best version of me, and that if I just never showed that word, it's corny ass words that use like not letting them show weak, like, yeah, letting you guys show weakness, and you know to keep showing like being the top dog, if you will, keep being um, putting not letting you guys show any weakness. I guess that's the words they use.
What went down between you and Ray before this thing spoke to you?
Like pause for a second, like look around, you know, make sure Charles not in the immediate vicinity at all. Just well, Ray was being a prick, kept talking a bunch of bullshit and just nagging on and on and on about our shit, about this corny ass leadership stuff. You need to do this, Deadbeat. You need to be like this. And I know so much more. Blah blah blah. And so tossed him into the wall, told him to shut up. He wouldn't stop, so I tossed him into the floor, told him to shut up again, just wouldn't stop yapping. So I told him, hey, I'm gonna stink up this room if you don't leave. Just shut up. I'm not wanting to hear this shit. And he fucked off. And right after he did, that's when that weird ass voice, gravelly, angry voice in my head was telling me all that.
What did it think about Ray?
I don't remember saying anything specific. It was just saying like he was being weak, or like you guys were being weak. That I need to make sure that there was no weakness, kind of. It said if I was gonna keep following your guys' order like a good dog, and I should just like strike out if you guys are being such pricks, to strike out on my own. But I don't have to pay for housing here at least, so not too bad.
You don't like confrontation, do you, Deadbeat? Emotional confrontation.
If you're gonna start talking like Ray, I can show you what I did to him.
So Ray was confronting you about something that wasn't making you comfortable emotionally, so you lashed out physically because you're stronger than him. Is that what happened?
See, I kind of lean forward. I struggle a little bit to get up. I'm just gonna say, Delphine, I want you to know right here, I'm the only one here that you can really relate with and know that we're kind of on the same side here. Because we're both on the bottom of the shit list here. And you can try and just push me away or try and, pretend that we're not the same thing. But we are. Charles and the rest of them are going to treat us like shit. We're going to just be sent to die. Even Matthias talked about us, being resources. Like, not even that we were people, but we're soldiers in his battle. So you can go on, keep pretending that you're better, that you're with them, and that they'll take you in. But just know, like the other Sept, they'll throw you away when they don't like what you say anymore, when you don't have anything to offer to them, and you can be left alone. Or you can actually, try and be nice with the one person who might understand what the fuck you're going through. The only other person with the right of shame here.
You're really good at deflecting. Could have been a politician in another life. Not a good thing, though. Not a compliment. She'll get up with a little bit of a wince and draw her sweater a little bit closer. You're safe here, Deadbeat, if that wolf is bothering you. Doesn't feel bad here. It doesn't feel like hell here.
But we'll never be accepted here. That's just how it is.
Probably not. But you know what would be more satisfying? Proving them wrong.
I don't gotta prove shit to no one. And I start I look off, and as much as I'm tempted to lash out in that moment, I'll kind of hold it back for a second as I'm just going to start walking away. As I look back, and as I start walking away, I just say, just remember, the rest of them are always going to see you as a drug addict, no matter what you do. That's just how they are. So you can either keep trying against that, keep working against that, or, do what you're doing now. If you can, they're never going to see you any other way. They're never going to see me any other way. So why try and fight it, huh?
At least I'm the drug addict who knows the litany.
I'll just you see, actually, I wait a moment and then give a small chuckle to that one. Actually, if I wince in pain for a second, as I'm just gonna start walking away.
Deadbeat, you make your way back towards the cairn. You didn't really get an answer to your questions. What's going through your head, though, with everything that Delphine said?
Deadbeat, right now I'm kind of feeling it's conflicted because on one hand, Delphine is the closest to being someone who can understand, like, who is in my situation. Someone who should be at the lows of lows like I am, yet not getting the same treatment, wanting someone to at least be able to pull to his side, almost like pull down to his level and to accept the situation that they're in. And just, well, not really getting an answer per se about what I'm going through, at least know now that I can get something from what this thing is, whatever is in my ear. So now I can try and maybe, haggle something out of this situation from the voice in my head as I'm gonna start walking away. And maybe now Delphine's has that spice in her because of that fix, but soon enough, when she runs out and when the rest of them find out what she's been doing, she's gonna go straight back to the bottom, right here with me.
So potentially there's something to be gained. The voice might be a little bit scary, but hey, there's a benefit to be found in it. Why not hear it out? Delphine, as you're left alone in the woods, roll me a wits and awareness.
Five successes.
As Deadbeat's heavy footfalls grow quieter and quieter, getting further and further away, they're replaced with a different noise from the opposite direction in the bawn. Singing. Soft, melodic singing. As you try to attune your ear to it, it comes in a language you don't understand. Native, almost tribal, calming, peaceful. It sounds relaxing, as if it puts your heart at ease and rest when you hear it. It too sounds like it's moving away.
I go towards it.
As you follow the sounds of the singing, and they draw closer and closer, you find yourself coming upon the Hillsborough River. You also find yourself coming upon an older woman who looks to be easily in her late 50s, maybe early 60s. She wears a long sundress that is covered in constellations, star patterns. She has a light shawl across her shoulders. Her gray and silver hair hangs loosely down to her shoulders. She carries a basket on her hip with one hand, and she goes down to the water. And as she approaches the water, she pulls out various garments and starts to wash them off in the water of the river. She doesn't make any notice of your presence. She doesn't look in your direction. She just continues to sing as she bathes these garments in the river, occasionally pulling them out to wring them out.
I'm going to quietly approach, mainly because I have a feeling this could be the Eliza, but because I don't know, I don't want to alarm her, because I currently have a torn, blood stained sweater on.
Give me a dexterity and stealth.
Can I add my favor to it?
Yeah.
Oh, that is one success.
As you approach, the singing continues, but once you get probably within 20 or 30 feet, the singing stops, only to be replaced by a soft, almost melodic chuckle. You're gonna have to try a lot harder than that to cover up that stench, darling.
She'll get up from a little bit of a crouch she was in and huff a little bit. Eliza?
Yes.
She'll step closer. It's hard to be stealthy when Charles has been eating the shit out of you all week.
Oh, I'm sure. Why don't you come on down here and let me take a look at that scratch on your leg?
She'll walk on over and furrow her brow. I could just heal it myself later. You don't have to, do bandages or anything like that.
Oh, darling, I won't be needing bandages.
She looks confused at that.
Come on, come sit down now.
She'll head on over and slowly sit down on the ground, wincing a little bit.
When you sit down, she comes up out of the river, walks over. She takes one of the previously washed garments and wipes off your leg, which stings when she makes contact at first. But as she does so, she starts humming again the same melody that she was singing previously. And as she wipes, the stinging is replaced by a warm feeling that washes over your leg. And that warm sensation becomes numb for a moment. And then a moment later, she pulls the cloth away, and as she does, the scratch is gone, completely healed.
I take back the 2 superficial health.
Yep.
Awesome. Delphine's eyes will widen and she'll look down at her leg and just move the cloth a little bit, the fabric a little bit, and inspect it closely. I didn't know we could do that. I knew we could heal ourselves. I just didn't know we could do it to others. Can all of us do that?
Not all of us. It's a particular gift, one you might learn eventually.
Okay, so it's something a spirit can teach us.
Yes. But you're gonna have to see to that first. She gestures to the braid in your hair.
She'll reach up to grab it and frown at it distastefully at the strands of Sean's hair that are braided into it.
Don't be looking so dour, dear. I've had worse than that in my time.
Yeah, and I don't mean this in an offensive way at all, but you are by far the oldest Garu I have ever seen.
I'll take that as a compliment.
And
we prefer experienced. Wizened.
I'll keep that in mind. But yeah, not even Sean was as wizened as you.
Most don't get to be old like me. I'd say it's a blessing, but it's also a curse. It means that I've had to watch a lot of loved ones die.
Sorry, Am I going to get in trouble for talking to you?
Probably. Is it worth it?
It's March. And I had my first change of April in April of last year and haven't learned jack shit. I've almost been like this for a year, and I don't know anything at all.
That's not true. I think you know a lot more than you give yourself credit for. I heard you talking to Deadbeat over there. You had some pretty wise words to say. You don't come upon that kind of knowledge by just sitting on your hands.
I meant Theurge stuff.
That is Theurge stuff. It's not all spirits and gifts. Most of what I do as a Theurge is soothe the spirit of my fellow Guru. We are all part spirit. We are all part wolf. And we are all part human. When you tend to the spirit of a fellow Guru, that is, as you put it, Theurge stuff.
Well, I did fuck with him too.
That's also Theurge stuff. You gotta get a good jape in now and then.
Yeah, there's this big white wolf roaming around. It scared me at first. I thought Deadbeat was insinuating that the one from hell came and followed us, but it's not the same one.
That's Alara. You'll get to know her soon enough.
Alara.
She's a sassy broad.
She came off that way.
Well, most lupus-born tend to be that way.
Oh, so she's like steaks. Oh, wait,
Once
I don't know
upon
if
a
you met
time.
her.
I have heard. When I heard another lupus-born was in town, I know the type.
What? Why is this place so much more different than Hell? Like, Hell had a lot of the wild, but it didn't feel like this. This place feels stronger. If, no, that's not the right word. Alive?
Well, because it is. It's different. It's going to be unlike any other place you've ever witnessed or probably will witness in your time as a Guru. This is one of, well, maybe unlike any other place that exists. I only know of it because I was pointed toward it, was directed toward it. And from what I know, it is one of only a few places in this world that exist. It's old, ancient, but it's pure. One of Gaia's special places. Now, all cans are, in a way, a special place, but some are more towards the Umbra than they are towards Gaia specifically. This is Gaia's.
I felt like a heartbeat in the earth.
I'm sure you did.
Was that Gaia?
I'd like to believe so, yes.
Its heartbeat used to be stronger, well, didn't it?
Yes. That's why what we're doing is so important, Delphine.
Aspen said that you would be the best person to teach me, but then Charles also said that I'm not allowed to talk to you until he's determined that I'm allowed to talk to you.
He's right. That's his job.
But what if I want to learn this stuff more?
Of course you do. But this stuff won't save your life. This stuff won't protect you. When a leech is bearing down upon you, or when worse is coming for you, this isn't the kind of stuff that is going to save your life. You need to know the basics. You need to crawl before you can walk. You need to walk before you can run. You need to run before you can fly. In time, it's all important. But you are like an infant. Like you said, you weren't taught anything. You didn't learn enough. Everything you've learned, you've had to learn on your own. And that is a very unfortunate place to be. That shouldn't have happened. And I am sorry for that. I wish it could have been better. And unfortunately, your story is not unique. In this modern era of Guru, there are quite a few stories like that. As you said, there's not a lot of us wizened Guru around anymore. And they're becoming fewer and fewer still. We're losing this fight. That's why the heartbeat is growing weak. There isn't a lot of time for teaching. So as much as you probably want to blame your teachers, it's quite possible they were doing the best they could with what they had to do. Maybe they themselves weren't even taught well. So if you want to learn this stuff, the first thing I'm going to teach you, Delphine, and this is most important, empathy. You need to learn it for your fellow Guru, and you need to learn it for the spirits. Because the spirits, much like your fellow Guru, have also been hurt by this conflict. They also have feelings, just like you and I do. They have experienced, just like you and I have. They have suffered, just like you and I have.
I'll admit, empathy isn't my strong suit.
Then just like them push-ups Charles is having you do, you better start working on it. Try walking a couple of feet in someone else's shoes. Then we'll start talking about yards and miles.
She'll nod. Do you need help? She'll look at the clothes that she's washing. I'll do it all if you just tell Charles that you didn't see me.
Oh, darling. If only that would help you. And she looks over your shoulder.
She pauses, not wanting to turn, but eventually will just slowly look over her shoulder.
Just near the tree line stands the suited man, arms crossed over his chest. He extends a hand, and then out of the hand drops a leash with a collar. And we transition to our next scene. In our final scene, the pack is called together in the cairn proper just before dusk, as they are and have been every night to conclude training. Except something this particular evening is different. Because as everyone lines up in the place they are expected to, Delphine is missing. As everyone awaits Charles, it's from the other side of the clearing that Charles emerges. And behind him, on a leash, comes Delphine. He walks across the clearing, brings her in front of the pack, and looks to all of them. What was the first thing I told you?
I remember you breaking my jaw. I kind of, the words kind of got lost on me.
You
Rory
will
will
do
el-
as I say.
Yeah, Rory will elbow Deadbeat in the bullet section of his abdomen.
Apparently, that message was lost on one of you. Would you care to tell them what you did?
I helped a nice old lady, trying to help a nice old lady with her laundry.
He kicks you in the back of the leg, dropping you down to your knees. Again.
I met Eliza.
After I had forbid it. So, as you have spent the last week learning to be a pack, learning to suffer as a pack, I will let you make this decision as a pack. A choice of consequences. 1. Delphine takes another rite of shame. For this was not a wise action she chose. And the spirits will know her lack of wisdom. Or I will take away some of your pack's funding. Discuss.
I think that the rite of shame is too much, guys. Just take away some of the funding. Just take. That's too much. She's already. Look at her. That's embarrassing as fuck. That's enough. This is a little gross, if I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, actually, how about like neither of this shit? Because like, no, actually, all offense, dog. This is kind of bullshit. She just talked to a person, and yet you fucking put her in a dog collar and start talking about applying a rite of shame. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Deadbeat,
And I know you
he's
can break
doing.
my jaw, but dude, what? No, y'all okay with this?
She
This is what we're
broke the
doing now?
litany again. I have
What did she
every
do?
right to execute her.
Over
He's
What part of it did
being-
she break?
a person?
Disrespecting her elders.
By talking to someone?
She was forbidden to do it.
Deadbeat, just shut up.
So no, you're okay with this, Rory?
I'm not, but he's being quite lenient.
Oh yeah, because talking to someone and getting executed for it is that's okay. Putting someone in a dog
Do
collar and
you
applying
want to
crying shame about
feel
it.
what it feels like to die? He, as much as I don't like the way he's going about it, is preparing us for our best shot, whether we like it or not.
This is preparation. Putting Delphine in a fucking dog collar, knocking her to the ground. Look, you know as much as I do. I don't fucking like Delphine. But what the fuck?
Even I'm not really okay with this and expecting us to be grateful that he didn't like kill her on the spot and instead put her in some weird fucking fetish gear and is threatening to either give her another ridiculous fucking amount of shame, which she's probably already experiencing, or taking away our money. Like, we're expected to be grateful. I don't. I'm having problems at this point.
If you want to behave like wild dogs, you'll be tamed like wild dogs.
But that makes you act. You're like not acting any better than the leeches that you talked about earlier at this point.
So much for a new fucking nation. Holy shit. Ray, what about you, Ray? You're just gonna stand by and let this happen? Isn't this your fucking member here? This is what you're supposed to be protecting, right? You're just gonna let them fucking do this to Delphine?
I agree, Deadbeat. This is not okay. I was letting you guys talk it out. But Charles, I have a question. Do you know for a fact that Delphine was the one that approached Eliza?
Yes.
Or did Eliza interact? Okay. I
How
think
do
a
you-
right of I think a right of shame for this is too much. For disobeying you to a certain extent, I agree. She broke the litany. But she has been trying to find some sort of tutelage for the past 6 to 7 months and has gotten nothing. I would be desperate in her shoes.
What was the past week, Ray?
Yes, we have been training, but there's a difference between training as a pack and getting better at fighting than learning from an elder of her moon.
Ray,
There's a
we are
difference.
so underprepared.
Let him speak. Let Ray speak.
I think you're taking it a little bit too far. I don't think even the option of a right of shame should be discussed. I think the second option of just taking away our funds is the correct choice. This is not something that Delphine needs to go through again, just because she wanted to learn.
But
I'm
even then, that's
also
not right.
Debbie. Just give me a second. How do you know who approached who?
Nothing happens in this cairn that I don't know about as its warder.
Okay. So what that kind of alludes to is that you knew that it was happening, and instead of stepping in, you allowed the interaction to happen, right?
Yes.
So really, she shouldn't be punished at all because you allowed her to talk to Eliza because you knew that the encounter was happening and did nothing to stop it.
I'm not allowed to test my students.
I don't really think it was a test. I think it was just you standing back and allowing it to happen.
Temptation is not a test.
He's not wrong.
Why are you even getting tested? This is the same bullshit that we had to go through the other Sept. What's with all this rigorous, oh, we gotta test you? We're not your fucking hounds. We're not your dogs. We're our own fucking people. We're not just soldiers in a goddamn war. We're fucking people here. And you're just gonna treat us like we're just disposable tools? Just treat us like dogs here and collars and leashes, putting us around, making us do whatever you want? Bro, there's a certain point to this. Like, why?
I don't want to treat you this way. I don't. I want
Then
you to
don't.
be better. It's as simple as listening. It's as simple as doing as asked. He reaches over and immediately pulls the collar off. Do you know why you're being treated this way? Because they will just kill you. Going out beyond this cairn, there are no second chances. It's life or death. Shame is the last thing you need to worry about. Embarrassment is the last thing you need to fear. There isn't another choice.
Delphine will stand up and turn to Charles and look him directly in the eye. I did receive a lesson from her and advice to listen to you and to educate and have you educate me first. I apologize for disobeying you. And she'll hang her head dejectedly and just wait.
I can't state this enough. Hate me if you like. At least you all hate me together. For once. But they will kill you. Without question. And if that's what you prefer, then there's nothing I can do, nothing I can teach you that will matter.
So this is the life we have to look forward to?
No.
In dog collars?
If you actually
this is
listen, Deadbeat, and learn, then you could be as free as you want to be. You could live your own life. But as long as you're putting your pack and your Sept at risk, yes, this is the life you will live. And the minute you bring danger to this Sept, I will end you. And I won't even think about it.
just stand tense, kind of jaw clenched, staring him down as temptation is so strong just to turn crying and say, fuck you, let's do this. Just holding back as I'm just going to look to the others. I'll just say, whatever you fucking guys decide to do, whatever. Just it ain't right.
Delphine will just look over at the pack. Just shame me. Just do it. I'm the one that didn't listen. I will get shamed again. Just do it.
We've already come to a decision.
Yeah.
There's no shame. We will take the reduce in funds.
Very well. You're all dismissed. There will be no training for the next 3 days. And with that, he turns and walks away. This is life amongst the Guru. This is life at war. Is this the life you want to live? Maybe, maybe not. But if the alternative is death, maybe it's time to take things seriously. Or maybe it's time to run. This is where our episode comes to a close, but not without one last scene. This scene takes us across the bridge to Pinellas County. We find ourselves at a housing development with a sign that says future site of high quality builders. We see several erected houses with long, potted garden plots. We see fertilizer planted amidst those garden plots. Prepared for the planting, prepared to grow. We pull back to the entrance of the housing development. We're just outside the driveway. We see a shaggy red wolf about to walk in to investigate. This is where our episode comes to a close. Thank you to everybody watching at home. Go follow St. Pete by Night on all of the social media listed down below. If you like what you see here, go follow us and then come join our community by following that Discord link in the description. We'd love to have you join us. For all these amazing players, I'm Kent. Thank you for watching and come back and join us next week. Also tune in to After Dark on Saturday, which is tomorrow, to see Laura Tutu over on Twitch. We're going to be interviewing her and having a great conversation, so come join us there. But thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a good night, everybody.